Welcome in, Chiefs Kingdom, to Cheifs Latest, sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. This is your one-stop spot for everything Kansas City Chiefs in 15 minutes or less. It is your host, Calvin Silvers. Welcome in. Happy Thursday. I'll tell you what, this week has flown by, but it's been a fun week because of you guys. That's right, you at home have made my week fantastic because you guys have been active in the comments, and it just makes recording these podcast episodes that more fun when I can see your guys' thoughts and opinions. In fact, today's episodes kind of revolve around what you guys were saying in the comment section. But before we dive into that, you guys know the drill. We are super, and I mean super close to 1,160 subscribers here at Cheifs Latest. You can help us get over that obstacle. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button and also turn on those notifications because we have daily, that's right, daily videos here at Cheifs Latest, Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the news, rumors, or actions regarding this team. So come be a part of the Cheifs Latest family. It's simple. It takes 5 seconds. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications as it not only helps me in the channel, but it's going to help you stay up to date with everything Kansas City Chiefs. Now, as I mentioned, you guys crushed it in the comments once again, and the consensus, it's loud. A ton of you guys want the Chiefs to use that 9th overall pick on a defensive lineman, and again, I'm right there with the majority. Now, I get the run game worries as we finish bottom 10 in rushing yards per game this season. In the position, it's been neglected or honestly just missed on for the past few seasons. But Beach has plenty of paths to fix it in both the draft and free agency. And it really depends on how they view rookie Brashard Smith and his role and whether Kareem Hunt returns as the short yardage guy. We talked yesterday about Texas Tech's David Bailey, who is second in FBS with 13.5 sacks and 62 pressures in his breakout year. Then Miami's Ruben Bain Jr., he was dominant in the regular season as well. 74 quarterback pressures, that was second in Power 4, 60 hurries, which was way ahead of the pack, and he led the conference in pass rush win percentage. And then you can't sleep on Clemson's Peter Woods either. A strong run defender with upper body power to control blocks and shed quickly. All three bring some traits that could give Spags more consistent heat up front. But there's one name that we haven't circled back to in a while that's still linked to the Chiefs at number 9, so I'll get to him in a second. But these comments show that you guys are prioritizing the pass rush for good and for good reason. A top 10 D lineman, Bailey, Bain, Woods, any of those types adds immediate juice to pair with Jones and Karlaftis. The run game can fix itself. It can wait for the later rounds or just honestly wait until free agency, as hitting the trenches and hitting it early, it's going to rebuild that fear factor that not only this defense kind of lost, but the defensive line as a whole. Well, Auburn's Keldrick Falk has Steve Spagnuolo written all over him, as he could step in as an immediate plug-and-play edge rusher for the Chiefs, but there are some real questions that linger beyond the traits. Now, Falk ranks among PFF's top-graded run defenders nationally, credited with 80 run stops across his 3 years as a starter. He packs serious strength as well, an impressive 700-pound squat. That's right, 700-pound squat and 415-pound bench press this offseason just shows that power that he has in his frame. And then when he extends those arms, he can lock out big tackles and set a firm edge, bringing natural leverage that makes him tough to move. And you can see why it's tough to move this guy. He's lined up all over the defensive front as well, going from 0 technique head up on the center to 5 technique shaded outside the tackle. That powerful base suits him as an early down edge defender with the ability to slide inside on passing downs for mismatches. He brings relentless energy to the pocket and unmeasured impact through hustle and pursuit with inside speed and outside power that fit a 4-3 scheme perfectly. But the big question is his traits versus the production. With only 10 career college sacks and 9 quarterback hits, that's a risk if someone like, Bailey or Bain Jr. is still on the board. Yes, Falk's raw upside is huge, but the sack numbers, they're not quite there to be that impressive. The Chiefs need a difference maker who can contribute right away. So production, it might tip the scale over potential here. Now, Falks could be a natural fit for Spags' multiple fronts as an early down anchor with late down pass run flashes, but low career sacks, again, I think that raises doubts on immediate third down impact. If the Chiefs prioritize proven production over traits, Bailey or Bain Jr. might edge him out. Still, he's a solid option if the board happens to fall that way. Again, we can't pick what exactly happens in front of us. So we just got to be ready to go with multiple options. Well, football playoffs are here, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the gridiron action. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, and more. Get them right, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. Now, I'm about to go over my selections for a divisional player that'll be competing this weekend, and you can follow along by downloading the app today and using promo code FOOTBALLFAN to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, that's promo code FOOTBALLFAN. Underdog. Make picks, win money. So I hope that you got the app downloaded. That's right, because I am about to go over this AFC divisional round matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos set for Saturday afternoon at Mile High Stadium. Now we're focusing on Broncos quarterback Bo Nix and his projections. And you can see on your screen right now, we're looking at passing yards, passing touchdowns, rush yards, interceptions thrown, and total completions. Now, I'll break down each one with stats from Nix's 2025 regular season, his historical performance against Buffalo, and just some general insight. So we're starting with passing yards. I'm going lower than 212.5, and this is a blend of present and past thinking. Listen, I know Nix is throwing for 231.2 yards per game, so that's already above what the projection is. But in only 47% of games this season has he thrown for more than 213.5 yards. So it's not a guarantee by any point. In fact, in his games against past defenses ranked in the top 11, he frequently falls below 212 yards, while most of his big pass yardage games came from lower ranked pass defenses. The 156.9 passing yards the Bills have yielded per game makes them the NFL's best pass defense this season. And against the Bills specifically in the playoffs, this is the only team Nix has faced in his short playoff career. Last season, he went 13 of 22 for 144 yards and a touchdown. And the defenses have shown up so far these playoffs, so I don't expect that to stop. We know Buffalo limits chuck plays and forces short, controlled throws. So the bottom line is, we've seen the Bills step up in the passing game all season, and I don't see the pass defense being the fault of Buffalo here. I think Nix comes down to earth once again in the playoffs and goes lower than 212.5 passing yards. Well, next up, and this one's it's trickier, I'm not going to lie, but 1.5 passing touchdowns, and again, I'm leaning lower. We know Nix averages 1.2 to 1.5 passing touchdowns per game, but Buffalo allows just 1.1 passing touchdown per game. In fact, Bills' touchdown rate allowed, 4.1%, matches Bo Nix's own touchdown rate. So this means that he's not outperforming expectations, but he's not in a matchup that's going to, boost it efficiently. Buffalo is far better in the red zone than between the 20s, so they force goals and they force patience. Not only that, the Bills have surrendered only 19 passing touchdowns all season. It's been a while since Nix has thrown that many touchdowns as well. With his last 2+ passing touchdown game, it came back on December 14th against the Packers, and before that, it was November 2nd against the Texans. So I'm going lower than 1.5 passing touchdowns in this one. Well, moving to the rush yards at 22.5 yards, I'd go higher. Nix has been using his legs in recent weeks, including the last 2 regular season games against the Chiefs and Chargers, where he rushed for 42 and 49 yards. As we've been going over these numbers, I expect Nix to have a tougher day throwing the ball, so I expect him to use his legs and break out a big run or two in this one. He has run for less than 22.5 yards in 11 games, but some of those were really close in the 18 and 22 yard range, so he's right there most games. And it's more the recent use of his legs that draw me to the higher on this one. Nix has rushed for an average of 20.9 yards per game this season. So even the average is right there. So no, Nix is not a dual threat quarterback, but he does have just enough talent and ability to keep a play alive and pick up yardage with his feet. In a playoff game where things can easily go crazy, expect Nix to take advantage of a broken play or two and go higher than 22.5 rushing yards. Well, now interceptions thrown sitting at 0.8. 0.5. And I'm leaning higher, meaning at least one pick. Herbert threw 11 interceptions in 2025. Against the Bills last season, he was clean. But this season, Nix is throwing the ball more. He's throwing it nearly around 30 to 35 attempts per game. So that means there's more opportunities for Buffalo to have an interception. The Bills are top 10 in interception rate force, 2.8%. So they have an opportunistic secondary and a disciplined zone that is going to bait young quarterbacks like Bo Nix into late throws. Again, you don't need a bad game from Nix necessarily, just one ball that's tipped or one ball that's forced or one ball that's even late. With the possibility of 15 to 25 mile per hour winds as well, I'm going higher than 0.5 interceptions. And finally, completions, looking at higher or lower on 20.5. I'm going higher on this one. In Nix's last 5 games, he has recorded 24.4 completions per game on 180 pass attempts. So the passing volume is increasing, not shrinking. So Nix is averaging 22.8 completions per game. So with the projection set at 20.5, that's a 2+ completion cushion. So this means you're asking Nix to perform below his normal output. When looking at the Bills' defensive tendencies, they allow 59.7% completions. That's 29th in the NFL. And with the Bills playing zone, they limit explosive plays, not catches. So I will go higher than 20.5 total completions. Well, there you have it, a balanced look at Bo Nix's projections for this playoff clash. Overall, going lower on passing yards and passing touchdowns, while going higher on rush yards, interceptions thrown, and total completions. This will be a great divisional round matchup, one I think the Bills and Josh Allen go ahead and win. What do you think? Are you ready to lock these in? Again, download the Underdog Fantasy app today and use promo code FOOTBALLFAN to score $75, $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, that's promo code FOOTBALLFAN. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy again, just great sponsors that we've been working with here at Cheifs Latest. Well, we've covered a lot on what the Chiefs should target this offseason and what they should do in the draft, but let's flip it to things that they really can't afford to do. First, while the running back position clearly needs attention, it shouldn't come at the expense of the 9th overall pick. I mean, you address that through free agency or a day 2 selection instead. Plenty of teams have found solid contributions from second or third round backs, and the free agent pool has some strong options like Breece Hall. The Chiefs have bigger priorities that demand premium draft capital over the backfield. Second, even with the desperate need for pass rush help, trading up should be off the table, as 6 picks total means staying patient and discipline if you're the Chiefs. We are already in a strong spot at number 9. It's pretty nice to land a true difference maker. So no need to get aggressive and give away assets like past years. We're not in that same position. Lastly, the Chiefs can't ignore drafting another wide receiver or tight end to support Mahomes, but they also can't reach for one early like some mock drafts suggest. There are tempting options that recent history might, say, hey, take a gamble on this. But the focus has to stay on pass rush reinforcement first. Build the trenches and pressures before adding more skilled players. So avoiding these missteps keeps the Chiefs from falling deeper into a rebuild, and they don't need to burn a top 10 pick on a running back when free agency or day 2 works. And they can't trade up and get rid of picks. And lastly, they don't need to reach for a wide receiver or tight end when pass rush is the bigger gap. Staying disciplined at number 9 and prioritizing trenches sets up a smarter rebuild. You got to protect Mahomes, you got to generate heat, and then layer the weapons. That's the right order that the Chiefs should take in this draft, at least in my mind. I would like to hear what you guys think in the comments. Well, as I mentioned, some mock drafts are floating some intriguing options for the Chiefs at number 9, even if I don't think most of them are the right path. I just told you the route I would take here if I'm the Chiefs. Well, Oregon tight end Kenyon Sadiq is drawing buzz as a possible top 10 pick after ESPN noted that he'll declare for the draft. With Travis Kelce's future uncertain, the Chiefs might feel tempted to grab him as he posted career highs this year with 51 catches, 560 yards, and 8 touchdowns in 14 games, which earned him Big Ten Tight End of the Year honors. Rookie tight ends like Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren, they stepped up big right away. So there's probably some copycat appeal that the Chiefs might want to do. We even saw someone like Brock Bowers instantly contribute to his team. Still, I'd rather pivot to a wide receiver like Cornell Tate if we're going skill position early. As wide receiver and offensive line, those feel like the bigger priorities than tight end right now. On defense, USA Today had the Chiefs taking the top safety in the class, Ohio State, Caleb Downs. Now, recent history backs the risk. Kyle Hamilton went 14th to Baltimore in 2022. Minkah Fitzpatrick went 11th to Miami in 2018. Derwin James 17th to the Chargers that same year. KC itself hit big with Eric Berry at number 5 in 2010. A three-time All-Pro career followed. The hype around Downs is real. He'd be a potentially next great safety for the Chiefs, following in the footsteps of Tyrann Mathieu and Justin Reed. But again, I don't think that's what you should use the 9th pick on. These mock drafts highlight tempting skill players, Kenyon Sadiq at tight end, Downs at safety, but the Chiefs' bigger gaps are pass rush and the run support game. And honestly, line protection. An early wide receiver or edge feels more pressing, I think, than another tight end. But a safety option, it's not the worst idea. I just wouldn't do it at number 9. Well, that is all that I have for you guys on this lovely Thursday. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Seriously, help us get to 1,160 subscribers to just become a part of this Chiefs Latest family. And again, as I mentioned, you guys have been killing it with the comments this week. Let me know in the comments what you thought of today's episode. Again, what defensive lineman would you go for in the draft? And also, what are your do's and don'ts for the Chiefs in the 2026 NFL Draft? Again, I am your host, Calvin Silvers. You are listening to Cheifs Latest. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring today's video. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. And until next time, have a good one.